Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On January 12, 1969, the New York Jets of the AFL beat the Baltimore Colts of the NFL, a monumental upset that spurred a merger of the two major pro football leagues. Today we list some of the biggest sports upsets. In baseball, the 1969 Miracle Mets beat the Orioles to cap their miracle season. In basketball, the woeful 1972 Cleveland Cavaliers beat the record-setting LA Lakers 124-120, an incredible upset of a team that boasted Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West. In boxing, Mike Tyson got knocked out by 42-1 underdog Buster Douglas in 1990. In hockey, the U.S. Olympic team beat the heavily favored Soviet team at the 1980 Olympics and went on to win gold. Finally, in wrestling, undefeated Alexander Karelin finally lost in the 2000 Olympics to Rulon Gardner of the U.S. On January 13, 1998, Alfredo Armando committed self-immolation in front of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City for the purpose of protesting homophobia. While many protesters have used setting themselves on fire to make a point, we contend that there are good as well as bad ways to protest. While self-immolation grabs brief public attention, the reaction of the public is rarely sympathy with the cause, but more an impression that the protester is mentally ill. Some good ways of protesting include boycotts, which can bring pressure on a business or government to change without violence, a tactic successfully used in the civil rights movement in the U.S., voter mobilization drives to force change through the ballot box, and multimedia campaigns including lectures and speeches, radio, TV, and internet ads and presentations, documentaries, and billboards. What other nonviolent ways can people protest? On January 14, 1969, we were once again reminded how navies around the world managed to make mistakes that cost lives and even entire ships. This time, 28 lives were lost and 314 sailors injured, but the USS Enterprise, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, was not lost. We have commented on naval disasters we call naval oops moments, and this time the problem was a Zuni rocket under a jet's wing that blew up. The explosion destroyed that plane and caused a fire resulting in multiple explosions, destroying 15 jets and blowing holes in the deck. The Big E was not in a war zone at the time, but off the coast of Oahu. Repairs cost just over $1 billion in today's dollars. The similar experience of the USS Forrestal in 1967, an aircraft carrier that suffered an on-deck missile mishap, resulted in damage control and deck practices that minimized the damage. On January 15, 1943, the largest office building in the world was dedicated in Arlington County, Virginia, the Pentagon, a building that would become the symbol of the American military. With 5 floors above ground and another 2 underground, the Pentagon boasts over 6.6 million square feet of floor space. Its 17.5 miles of corridors get busy foot traffic 24/7. With a workforce of 23,000 military and civilian defense workers, plus another 3,000 non-defense workers. Built at great effort and expense to meet the demands of World War II, we call this building a monument to man's folly because of the folly of war, mankind wasting money, toil, and resources on the business of killing each other instead of the benefit of all. What is the worst monument to the folly of man? Please let us know in the comments for this video. On January 16, 2006, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was sworn in as the President of Liberia, the first female to be elected head of state of any African country. Sirleaf had previously served as the Minister of Finance for Liberia, but had escaped to the U.S. after a 1980 coup put Samuel Doe in charge. Sirleaf was well acquainted with the U.S., having gone to college in the States at Madison Business College, the University of Colorado Boulder, and Harvard. Apparently, Sirleaf must have done a good job, for she was re-elected in 2011 and served 2 6-year terms. The pioneering African female politician won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for for her work advocating women as peace negotiators, as well as other awards. While Sirleaf was the first elected African female head of state, previously women had led African countries as queens, or as with Cleopatra, as pharaoh. On January 17, 2017, the sad saga of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 came to an end of sorts when authorities announced an end to the futile search for the lost airliner. The fact that we still cannot find the huge Boeing 777 jetliner in this modern era is amazing, but the incident fits with such other airplane disappearances as Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Model 10E Electra that disappeared over the Pacific Ocean in 1937, band leader Glenn Miller in a U.S. Army Nordine UC-64A over the English Channel in 1944, Flight 19 of 5 TBM Avengers that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle in 1945, and South American Airways losing 2 Avro Tudor 4 airliners in 1948 and 1949, both over the Atlantic Ocean. None of these planes has yet been found. On January 18, 2008, the Euphroneous Crater, a bowl for mixing wine with water that dates back to around 515 BC, was unveiled in Rome, Italy, after having been stolen from an Etruscan tomb in 1971 and then held by the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City since 1972. Should all national treasures be returned to their home country? Other old items that have been taken to foreign lands without the consent of their home country include panels and art from the Amber Room in Russia dating to the 1700s, looted by Germans during World War II. The Hanjo Masamune sword, dating to about 1300 AD, was taken by Americans from Japan in 1945. Its present location is unknown. And a headless statue of Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, dating back to 180 to 200 AD, was taken from Turkey and bought by the Cleveland Museum of Art. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History in Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.